Hi, welcome to another explainer of Know from Best. In this session, I will give you a comparison between two most used agile methodologies, Scrum and Kanban. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of both frameworks, their pros and cons, and which one is best fit for your project and your team. Alright, let's start with Scrum. Scrum is an agile framework that helps teams develop product in an organized and iterative way. There are some key features of Scrum, so let's look at those. A Scrum team works in sprint, where the work is divided into fixed length cycles which can be from 1 week to 4 weeks. A Scrum team also has some defined roles, such as Product Owner, Scrum Master, and the Development Team. Product Owner owns the product backlog, he writes the user story and he prioritizes the backlog. The Scrum Master facilitates all the Scrum events, he coaches the team on agile principles, and he helps everywhere that he can. And development team is the team that actually works on the user stories that the product owner gives, and they work towards the increment and towards the sprint goal. Let's look at some regular meetings that a Scrum team needs to have. Did you know these regular meetings are also called events or ceremonies in Scrum? This is because we celebrate coming together and we celebrate the collaboration. So these meetings are sprint planning, which happens at the start of every sprint, where the teams comes together and decide how much user stories they are going to work during the sprint. And they also discuss the blockers and any future impediments and the dependencies in this particular meeting. Second meeting is daily stand-up. Daily stand-up is a 15 minutes meeting where the team comes together every morning and they say what they did yesterday, what they are going to do today, and if they have any blocker, where the Scrum Master can help them. Third meeting is sprint review. Sprint review is the meeting where the team demos the product that they have created to the PO or to the client. And the last meeting is retrospective. Retrospective is the meeting where the team discuss about the process that they had, what they did great, what they did wrong, and if there are a few things that they can improve. So they discuss it during the retrospective session to improve the process. The work in progress limit for a Scrum team is that they decide the capacity and they know the set number of user stories that they are going to deliver at the end of that sprint. And the backlog is of course prioritized by the PO. Think of Scrum as a structured approach with a clear milestone and team accountability. Now, let's talk about Kanban. Unlike Scrum, Kanban is more flexible and focuses on continuous flow rather than fixed iterations. So let's look at some key features of Kanban. First thing is, there is a Kanban board. This is a visual tool with columns like to do, in progress, and done. In Kanban, they have work in progress limit or WIP limit, which is nothing but the team limits the tasks in progress at any given time. Third thing is continuous delivery. So there are no fixed sprint. The tasks are moved forward as soon as they are completed. There are no prescribed roles, such as where in Scrum we had POs and Scrum Masters, but there are no such roles in when a team is working on Kanban. The Kanban team focuses on the flow. The goal is to reduce the bottleneck and increase the efficiency. Think of Kanban as a traffic system: smooth flow, minimal congestion, and continuous movement. That is Kanban. Let's compare Scrum and Kanban side by side. There are some key differences between both of these agile methodologies, so let's quickly look at all of them. First difference is iteration. A Scrum team works in fixed cycles called sprint, which can be between 1 week to 4 weeks, whereas Kanban has continuous flow. Second difference is of roles. Scrum needs some predefined roles such as Product Owner, Scrum Master, and the Development Team, whereas in Kanban we don't need predefined roles. The Development Team can manage the whole task. Third difference is of meetings. Scrum needs to have some fixed events, which are sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint review, and sprint retrospective, whereas in Kanban we have minimal meetings. The structure of meetings are same, but repetition of those meetings is not as much as it is in Scrum. Then the next difference is work limit. We limit the task assigned for whole sprint in Scrum. So we decide how many user stories we are going to deliver for that sprint, and we deliver at the end of the sprint in Scrum. Whereas in Kanban, we give WIP limit, which is nothing but work in progress limit. So we limit the task which is in progress. So these are the key differences between Scrum and Kanban. Now, let's talk about when you should use these frameworks. Use Scrum if your project has clear deliverables and deadlines, you work in a team that benefits from structure and defined roles, and you need regular feedback loops and progress tracking. Then you should use Scrum. You should use Kanban if you need flexibility and continuous delivery. Your team works on projects like maintenance, support, or DevOps, and you want to minimize bottleneck and increase the efficiency. Then you should use Kanban. So which one you should use? Here's a quick way to decide. If your team is working on projects like net new development, marketing, or HR, just go with Scrum. It works better with them. And if your team is working on post-production support, DevOps project, or maintenance project, go with Kanban. There you have it. I just gave you a short comparison between Scrum and Kanban. Let me know in the comments below if you use any of these frameworks with your team and how do you find them. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one.